All right, here we are once again in the campaign corner with the man himself, the candidate of the people, Michael Sussman.
My favorite corner.
There you
there are
are.
lots of corners to be in. This is the best one.
They've been trying to corner you a lot.
The
recently.
Mets, they're in a big corner. I'll tell you that. The Yankees are in less of a corner.
Oh, man.
The Yankees have done better.
But
You and
I'm
I share
telling you,
that.
can you imagine that? 11 games left in the season. They closed 5 games. They're
They
tied,
got
virtually
one more to
tied.
close in 3
Well,
days.
they got to win them all.
They're going to win them.
There you go.
Toronto's got to lose one. I
That's
think
it.
they will. I'm predicting right here on tape, Yankees will do it.
Other way.
All right.
There you
Want me to
go.
fix my
there you
tie?
go.
All right.
There you go.
So,
Where are we at in the
quote,
campaign, boss?
never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents.
Isn't that?
You know who said that?
Yeah, I
Do
absolutely.
you know when he said it? At his inauguration address, Mr. Trump
Exactly.
uttered those words, which give us an impression that he understands that the power of the state can be weaponized against political opponents. And it appears that his directive to the Department of Justice to initiate last-second prosecution of James Comey. I don't know if people understand this.
Oh, my God.
5-year statute of limitations
Yeah.
is going to be up literally probably Monday.
Yeah, days, right.
Okay? And he fired the Eastern District of Virginia chief prosecutor. He brought in an insurance defense lawyer who's never prosecuted a single case, made her the head of the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia, which, by the way, has no jurisdiction over the matter. Mr. Comey, if he lied to Congress in Washington, D.C. But you know what happened? They presented the Comey case to the Washington, D.C. grand jury, and the grand jury told them to go to hell.
Yeah.
So they went to the Eastern
Northern
District of Virginia. If you can only imagine.
Oh, they went to
this.
the Eastern District, not the Northern?
No, it's the Eastern District.
Oh,
They don't
man.
have a Northern District. They have an Eastern and Western in that state.
Oh, they spoke. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
It's a smaller state. We have 4 districts in New
Right.
York, but they don't.
That's what
But
they have.
anyway, here's where we are. I mean, and I see no discussion in our county politics. I see nothing by our county executive or any legislator about this. It's as if we exist in some sort of bubble. The freedoms that are taken from our people are not taken in Orange County, apparently.
Wow.
Or have no impact in Orange County, or we're on the moon somewhere. I mean, this is really shocking. And I would strongly suggest to Democratic Party leaders in our county that they start speaking up about this too. It's not just me. We need people in public life making very clear the stakes to our democracy. This is no laughing matter.
No, it is not.
And if people think it's not them at this moment, it will be them very soon.
Well, just briefly,
Yeah.
today I saw on Facebook there was a young woman who had taken all 800 pages of the big beautiful bill and read it into ChatGPT for analysis. And the analysis that came back was absolutely astounding.
Even a robot
A
understands.
robot knows what's going on, and the people just seem, the politicians, everybody seems to be ignoring the facts.
Well, one of the biggest differences, and you're only a tad bit older than I am. You look younger, but you're a tad bit older.
This is
But
true.
This is the truth. Back then, and you know what I'm referring to, there was a sense of significant outrage about a lot of what was going on. Today, there is a timidity, a kind of tepidness, a fear of speaking out that's really rather remarkable. In our county, we have a bunch of workers at Amazon who came to a public meeting 3.5 months ago and made very clear their plight. And union leaders who were then speaking on behalf of giving Amazon huge subsidies were pretty embarrassed by the fact that these workers got up and said, we're living in our cars. We don't have enough to eat. We're working there and the conditions are very unsafe and dangerous, and people are getting injured and sent to the hospital. And when we tried to unionize, as happened in Staten Island, and we won the election, they wouldn't even negotiate with us. And here you are, union leaders, whatever they want to build, let's give them a huge subsidy, right? No conditions, no nothing. there's not a sense of outrage. There's not a sense that your battle is my battle. It's each person to themselves. We can't have a society like that. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. It will not work.
Well, the country's gotten far too comfortable with allowing those things to slide. That's the thing. They don't want to upset the apple cart because they feel that their apples are on it,
I always talk about people from my class in law school wanted to gather chestnuts. This was their primary objective, many of them. They were in law school and they were at the bulletin boards figuring out if they got this job or that job, how much money they would make in 30 years. The Gathering Chestnuts Brigade, I used to call them. But there comes a point when you've gathered all the chestnuts you're going to gather, and even if you have subordinated other values, some values got to kind of come back up to the top. And we're here. This week, we wrote a letter, my office and I, to Mr. Newhouse, challenging him to 3 debates. And I'll tell you the real reason we did this. I've been traveling around the county, canvassing. I've been in Chester. I've been in the town of Walcott. I've been in Newburgh. When I say canvassing, walking the streets, going house to house and talking to people. And a number of people have said to me, are there any debates? Where are the debates? I'd like to see the 2 candidates together. I'd like to hear a dialogue between the 2 of them. I said, well, I put on Facebook a request to have debates. Well, challenge, people tell me. Write a letter, challenge. I don't need to be told it, but it stuck with me. Yeah. Because I felt like it was really something people wanted to see and hear. Absolutely. So I wrote a letter, and a week's gone by almost. We're in the 5th day, and there's no response whatsoever. It's no response whatsoever. And this is part of it. The level of discourse, the level of discussion, the level of political interaction is very low. Legislators go to the legislative meetings, and they have a couple of committee meetings a month, and that's it. I mean, now they're campaigning, I understand that. Some of them meet pretty assiduously with their constituents, but many don't. Many don't. And so the level of politics is almost very immature. It's undeveloped. And the dialogue is undeveloped. So this is what I've been thinking about since we last met, because, as you go around more and speak with more people, this is what you hear. And the other thing you hear is people get involved about a single issue because something bad is happening in their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And the government is very unresponsive, and they just get frustrated and drop further out. Right. And as justification for dropping further out, they say to me, well, look, I went to the meetings, I protested or I spoke or I gave my views, and nobody paid any darn attention. So why am I getting involved? Unresponsiveness, in other words, breeds distance. It pushes people further away. And you see it's not in one place. That's the other part of this. I've been working with senior citizens in Montgomery.
It's permeated the entire electorate.
Yeah. And you go out and there's a very active group of senior citizens in Montgomery. You won't believe it. I mean, for 40 years, there's been a club providing all sorts of activities with minimal government support. Right. And a new mayor comes into town, and he basically throws them right out of the senior building.
Are you serious?
Get the hell out of here. And I am serious. And their belongings, they can't get back their belongings. They can't, in other words, they have tables or file cabinets or material or safe, and they can't get stuff back. Literally. I'm not making it up. So I went to a meeting the other night, and at the meeting, this is part of the dialogue. And this isn't about the seniors. We have a problem with our fire hydrants in the village of Montgomery. A number of them aren't working. A number of fire hydrants aren't working. Literally, this is the conversation. Mayor says, well, only 3 aren't working now. We fixed the others. So a member of the community gets up and says, which 3 aren't working? I want to know if it's near my house. I mean, which 3? So someone reads, the deputy mayor reads the 3, and someone else says, no, another one isn't working. So at the end of the meeting, and I went up and I spoke to the gentleman, and I said, I mean, whose job is it to inspect fire hydrants in your village? How frequently is it done? Is there a record kept of the inspections? And this issue's been going on for weeks in the village, and the gentleman, and again, I'm not personally attacking him on an individual basis, but he's the mayor of the community. I don't know. Well, who's in charge of this? I don't know. So, it just leads me to feel we're almost in a comedy show at times here. It's like, but the issues are serious.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that, because this may be, if nothing else works out, this could be a great sitcom.
It's just,
it could be.
What are we talking about here?
Wow.
So, my feeling is,
we'll call it pickle barrel.
Pickleball. we need, and you and I again are of a generation where there was a lot of fervor, a lot of passion about political matters, about our lives together. It's a way to put it, our lives together, public life.
Absolutely.
And now, it almost honestly seems the opposit.
Like everybody wants to hide.
Yeah, do their own thing.
Leave me alone, I'm fine.
Yeah, and you go door to door among active Democrats. That's not what you hear, by the way. Active Democrats are happy there are choices now. They're enthused to some extent. Some of them know there's an election coming. Some are happy to hear there's one.
Isn't the fact that in the county the registered Democrats outnumber the Republicans?
By 18,000. But again, elections are decided by the people in the middle. Many people in this county are not registered to either party. They're either blanks or independents. There are more of them than the party almost.
Wow.
There are a lot of them, not more than registered Democrats, but there are a lot. So the question really is, what is common? And now there's another whole part of this story that I think is important. We go to events in the county.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Montgomery Day. You go to Pine Bush, Town of Crawford Harvest Day. And there are all sorts of people out there greeting each other from their booths. A lot of them have vending booths. They're there doing whatever they're doing, different clubs, different activities. The General Montgomery Parade, you have the septic company, everybody, the pest control company is marching with the farmers marching with their banners. So there's a lot of pride. This is a sort of flip side of it. But what it's not about is the political system and the political process. It isn't to say that people don't have pride in their communities. Up here, in a number of these communities, you see it. I'll be going around in the next 2 days to Highland Falls, to Port Jervis, to Cornwall, and you'll see there are many people out and enjoying their communities. So it's not just that they're sitting at home watching TV. I don't think we should try to give that impression. It's the political system. It's that people are just rejecting participating in. That's very significant.
Well, what do you think that is? Is that cynicism from having been overexposed to things that were never realized, or what's the numbness?
It's a good word for it, David. That's a very good word for it. It is a kind of numbness. It's people coming to the view that whatever anyone says is opportunistic. The people who say it don't really believe it. They're just saying it. They get into office. They become more distant. They're self-serving. They're there for their friends or their families. There's nepotism all abounding all over.
God,
so it breeds, it just breeds this. And people also feel they can't make a difference. Even in smaller communities like we have up here. Our county, as a county, is 1/20th the size population of New York City. You can imagine in New York City how people feel. Well, how can anyone make any difference? But even up here, you still feel it. Last night, we were in Florida having a meeting with citizens over at the wonderful Jane Street Brewery, and people came to the meeting, and they were talking with me about various problems in their community. And several of them said, I've tried to get involved. I've gone to these meetings and these meetings and these meetings, and nobody's paying any attention to me. And that's, so, what I hope in the next month, and it's getting closer and closer, we're almost here now, that we're able to do, and it's not clear we can do it. We're trying.
It's
is
like
to
5 weeks. Is that
well,
we're inside
in
5
less
weeks.
than 30 days, early voting starts. It's October
That's-
25th.
That's right.
So we're
Wow.
here. But I hope that more people will start paying attention. And to that end, we're doing a lot of advertising in local media. The Goshen Indie, we have something in there, Wednesday's edition, an ad about what our ideas are. And people start getting more knowledge and appreciation that there are two sides here and that both have something to say and they need to review and figure out where they are.
Yeah, it's not even really so much a question of the differences, but just having the discourse present. Because maybe the distances are not that great.
Yeah.
If once the dialogue is established, but if it's not there at all, how do you determine that?
Yeah, well, I think that's something people can judge when they hear the two individuals and compare what
But they've got to
done.
hear it. That's the point. That's exactly it.
So it's great to see you guys and to be with you. We'll be over, as you know, at karaoke later tonight. Every Friday night, for those of people who watch this, you should know that David Patrick Wilson, who's the interviewer here, is one of our great entertainers at karaoke with his harmonica and songs that are original. I'm always encouraging him to sing his original songs, which are top of the chart from what I'm told. The chart. I don't know about these things, but I believe him. And his songs deserve to be up there. I know that. So
well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate that.
No, it's very true.
That's great.
But I want people to come out to karaoke, if not to hear me, to hear you for sure. They hear me first. She always sings first, though. Yeah. So they're not going to hear me and run away.
Yeah. Well, we have. I just actually wrote a new song. I just lost a very close friend of mine. Actually, that's tomorrow. We have to go down to a memorial service down on Long Island. But
friend from high school.
I've known it. Well, at my acting school, he went to the same acting school. But I'd known him for more than 50 years. A close friend, and we had been roommates. And when we first went out to
I had that experience last year with one of my running mates from high school, who was one of my political allies in high school. And he worked in Capitol Hill doing sexual harassment cases. For women, primarily against members of Congress. That was the work he was doing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one day, it's just
and
not
we take for granted that and that's what's so important about having your voice heard and making a mark here, even if it's on a ballot. The importance of that can't be underestimated. At least you're registering someplace a commitment to somebody and something of value. And you never know when that's going to be taken away. And believe me, if the vote is taken away from us people, we are in serious problem. Well, if we allow it to slip away.
I think there's a very strong chance there'll be an effort made to postpone the 2026
midterm elections. I am quite sure.
On the argument that the census isn't yet finished.
Did you see Gavin Newsom last night on Colbert? Oh, yeah. Well, it was 2 nights ago maybe. But it was on the same night when Jimmy Kimmel first came back. You see now, but that's the people speaking out. They took away someone that they actually, they took the right to speak, his right to free speech, away from him, right? And all of a sudden, everybody showed up, and we've got to show up here because
that's the point. It's too selective. There's got to be a broader understanding of the attack.
How important it is,
and a response to the attack.
If they can do that to somebody that's got that kind of public exposure and that kind of public audience, and what does that mean for the individual? We've really got to step it up.
We're trying. It's going to be an exciting few weeks.
Well, I know you're 100% on the ball, pal. And it was great to see you. It was great to see you at the event last Saturday.
Yeah, we had fun. I ran a little more than I should have. So.
Yeah. well, in those shoes, man, I
was wearing my business shoes. It was made a spontaneous decision to participate in the 5K. I should have been dressed for it, but if I had been dressed for it, maybe I could have run a few more feet, but not the whole race.
But it was great that you were there, and it was great that you finished, and
I did finish.
And your office was well represented.
Yeah,
right?
John Kapanovich was the winner of the race, and
he
did a good job. He told me he was going to win, and I had confidence in him.
And like I said, I really appreciated the fact that it's not just about winning. What he did was he was way ahead, and he got to the finish line, and he waited for the number 2 to catch up to him. and then they crossed the finish line together, which was really, that to me was very impressive.
Beautiful act.
Tremendous.
That's why when people say we can't count on young people, they're so wrong.
Oh,
many
man.
we can count on. So,
There are.
All right, David, good to speak with you.
Good to speak with you. Thank you so much,
See you
Michael.
next week, I hope.
Oh, hey, you
All
got
right,
it.
take care.
Absolutely.